Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Little Hedge Grove. Today I am back to my storytelling, and I didn't really plan on making a new video so soon after the last one, but I had a little incident while out walking my dog tonight that made me think of this story, and I want to share. So here we go, and you're going to see some actual live footage tonight of the incident. So I was out walking my dog, and all of a sudden he stopped and was looking up here. He started jumping up on this wall and looking all around like he saw something right here. And I, of course, didn't see anything. As you can see, I'm like, what are you doing? But he kept looking there, and he kept jumping up on this wall. And I'm not even showing all of it here because I didn't start filming until after he was doing this for a bit. This went on for several minutes, probably about a good 5 to 6 minutes of him just looking at this wall and trying to jump up on it. And the reason I think that it's odd, most people are probably thinking, oh, he must see a bird or a rabbit or who knows what, right, over there somewhere that I'm just not seeing, because it's dark. But the reason this brings such attention to me and the oddness of it is because of a little backstory I'm going to share. And several months ago, I was out walking this area by myself. The dog was not with me. I was out walking this area behind, in my neighborhood back here by this wall. And as I was walking, something touched me. It was right here by this exact spot, which is why I'm bringing this to the attention. It was odd. And at the time, I was thinking maybe it's, a tree, or maybe it's like the Fae goofing around, because there is a tree right here behind this wall where the dog is, and you can see a little bit of it if you look at some of the footage here. But it's kind of hard to see in the dark. I apologize for the bad footage on this. But I felt something touch me. Like it felt like fingers it touched my shoulder, and I felt it touch my hand as I was walking. And it gave me a weird vibe. I wasn't actually scared because I was curious if it was a tree, because I hadn't seen him or felt his presence around in a while. So I was like, oh, is that, is that you? But I couldn't quite tell for sure. I couldn't be absolutely positive, but I clearly felt someone touch me. Like it actually made me turn around. Like I thought somebody was there. That's how real of a touch it was on my shoulder and my arm. It felt like somebody was behind me and had reached out and literally put their hand on me, enough so that, like I said, I turned around because I thought somebody was there, and there was nobody there. And that's why it brings my attention, because now every time I walk by this back part of this road, my senses kind of go a little bit on alert because of that one incident where I felt that. And I'm partly curious, because I have to admit I'm a curious type. Will I feel something again? Will I sense something? So I'm always kind of wondering that when I'm coming by this spot to begin with. But nothing's happened since then. It's been, like I said, it's been several months. I haven't felt anything else there. Aside from my own, looking around, because I remember that incident, and, but nothing has happened. And then tonight I'm out here walking my dog, and he has been perfectly good this entire walk. He's not being bad here or anything, but he was walking right along the road with me. He wasn't derailing off into looking at other things and jumping up on walls and stuff like that. This was the only spot he did this, and it was literally the same spot that I felt someone touch me several months ago. So I thought that was really strange, and why I wanted to talk about this, because like I said, I can't guarantee that this was Fae activity here, but I do find it interesting how animals can sense things sometimes that we can't, can see things that we can't. And I do think that goes for the Fae as well. And I have actually channeled Atri, the Fae I can communicate with through channeling when he is around. I do emphasize that he's not always here. Like, he's not like some god that's everywhere at once. He's an actual being, and he, when he goes places, he's not literally here. I can't talk to him. So with that understanding, when I have actually channeled him regarding animals, especially cats, because somebody had a question about that. Like, is it true Fae and cats do not get along? For some reason, someone had thought that was a thing. I don't know if it is or not, but I had not heard of that personally. But anyway, I channeled that on him, and he said that no, there's not really a thing where they do not like them, but what it is that the cats can, and animals can sense them, and they can see more than we see a lot of times. And a lot of Fae that happen to be the type that frequent, homes and neighborhood areas and stuff tend to like to play with them, and that can get the animal a little riled up. Like, cats can get riled, they can chase them, and they can mess with the cats, and they find it kind of amusing, is what I gathered from that communication. But it doesn't mean that they necessarily hate each other. They don't. And that brings me to another incident that I wanted to share, since we're on the topic of animals and the Fae. This is a picture of my cat Nala. May she rest in peace. She has passed on, at least that I am aware of. Back in 2020, right when COVID hit, I was very sick, and she disappeared, literally, while I was sick in bed. And we had, signs and all this, we tried everything to find her, and we never found her. So I'm assuming she has passed on, because she was a very loving, sweet cat that always stayed around the house. And I fear what happened is probably the neighbors have some really big, kind of aggressive dogs. And I have a feeling that something happened there, and they're just not, mentioning it or whatever. But anyway, that's not the point of this story. What you're seeing here in this picture is back at my old apartment, where I did most of my channeling with Atri, and that's where I did see him in the bathroom there. And what's significant about this is where she is looking. If you look at it, she's looking up into like she's looking at somebody or something. And I was sitting on the bed, offset to her there. Obviously, I took the photo, so she's not looking at me. She's looking at something else up top. And literally, while I was sitting there on the bed, I did feel Atri. He was sitting, I felt the bed sink down to the side of me, and I felt like little touches on my arms. I could tell he was there. I could sense his presence. It was not an alarming presence. It wasn't like anything bad. It was very comforting. Like I enjoyed having him around. I couldn't see him at that time, but I could sense his presence. And then my cat was sitting here on my bed, and all of a sudden, you can't obviously see this in the picture, but she was purring. She is actually purring in this picture. She's not just staring up there like she sees a fly on the ceiling. She was purring, not making those little chippy mew noises like something's moving up there like a bug. She was purring and purring and purring, and her ears kind of flattened out like someone was petting her. And I had this biggest sensation that it was Atri, the Fae, and that he was standing there talking to her, and he was petting her, and she was purring like crazy. And if I show you the next picture here, you can see even that she scrunches her head down a little bit and squints her eyes while she's purring, like somebody is really petting her. And then she's looking over as he walks away, and I didn't feel his presence anymore, but I definitely felt his presence right then. And I know for a fact that she is seeing him. She is looking right at Atri, and he was touching and petting and talking with her. And I caught it on film, or at least, picture film here. So I wanted to share that, and just, I guess, share in general that, these animals can really see and sense Fae. They can sense, I'm sure other things too out there. I'm not saying it's all Fae activity, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And, I'm curious to hear if anybody else has any stories that they have, or any documentation of, animals and seeing spirits or Fae and their reactions to them. Because I found this really interesting. Like tonight, my dog was just staring up at that tree and up on that wall. And literally, I felt someone touch me when I walked by there. Like I said, it was enough that I literally turned around and it made me jump. Like I thought somebody was there, and nobody was there, or at least nobody that I saw. I have a feeling it was, I think it was Fae activity around that tree. I think something is there, and I think my dog noticed it too. Anyway, that's my story. It's kind of short tonight, but I hope you enjoy it. And please feel free to leave comments if you've had any stories like this as well, down below. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you.